I don't think he grew up with the aspiration to be a photographer or something. Somebody gave him a camera and something just happened, some magic happened. So I think it was maybe part of his search, and that's maybe he was so restless in it. You could feel that he's restless.
Al just has a way of kind of worming his way into one's life, and then all of a sudden he's there.
I'll take your name, honey. I'll take your name.
The exhibit was really awesome, very compelling. It was from hero to zero.
You know, everybody has a place where they can just disappear from the world. Hal didn't.
My first memory of him is knowing that he had that kind of helping people bug. He was doing that with a camera.
They live in the shadows of our society, but most people never give the homeless a second glance.
What struck me about it was the homeless people that Hal had photographed.
This gift we've been given is by passing it on, and I met Hal through a friend.
He spends a lot of time capturing the character.
His way of getting more artistic in the public, you know, because he was always on the cutting edge of being new and hip.
You got to work hard going around to all those photographers and getting lined up with good pictures.
I think he's a true artist, and once he found his art, it was, I think he found his heart. He's still crazy, Al Sample. His art was like, you know, expressed in life itself. He himself is art.
Well, I met this guy here named Al Sample. He took me out of his wings, gave me all his equipment to carry around, gave me a camera to look at other people, act a fool. We got away with a lot of stuff, and our stuff we did. We got around away from a couple of times because the guy wanted to jump. Don't take my picture, don't take my picture, don't take my picture. Well, we're going to take a picture anyway. We'll get out of line. And then Thunder, we had a Thunderbird. I just hopped in the Thunderbird. Everybody said, why you doing that? I said, you told me to get in. I just hopped over and jumped in. We drove off. And since then, we were like all over the place. We was out on Lamar, on the Industrial Boulevard, East Dallas. Oh, we was all over the place. You name it, we went there.
Today is January 5th, right?
Friday.
We're going downtown with Joyce and Sarge.
Yeah.
Now we're just rolling down on Main Street in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah.
Joyce got everything under control back there?
I got everything under control.
All right.
Keep running, man.
I'm watching.
Let me see it, baby.
I can't let you see it right now. I gotta keep it on him.
Let me see it.
You gonna give it to him, Hal?
Yeah, you can go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Hey, here we go.
There we go.
Now we got you.
How about this? Isn't this good times, though?
Already. We working with it.
We're gonna do it anyway.
Already. We're heading down here.
We're gonna do it anyway.
Anyway, we're sitting there watching the traffic. And we got Mr. Hal driving, our chauffeur for the day. I hope it's taking us to the right place. Let's see. Whoa, we got a little traffic here. Uh-oh, downtown Dallas. Little construction, little baddies. And there he is right there. All right. Oh, there go.
Got a little work being done.
Oh, there's our construction site there in downtown Dallas. Yeah, here we go.
try to take something good out of some of the bad that was happening sometimes. You know, you would go and say, okay, for this moment, we're gonna have a moment that's better than money.
We got a couple of the pedestrians.
And that's all that we had learned was long-term value, those memories of the good times, you know.
I think it's called one of y'all places.
One of y'all places?
Yeah, you know, people got money. Huh?
Chicken Parmigiana.
Chicken Parmigiana? I had never heard of it. Hey! There we go. We're going backwards now. There you go.
And there's Corinth. Corinth is this way. Wycliffe is north, and Corinth is south. Okay, this zone here is being rezoned, and what they want to do is blow this out, just like downtown Dallas, and just like over there by, this is the Trinity River Project, part of it.
New York was somebody that I was just waiting to get off the streets, but he decided he wanted to stay there because he felt he could be the best contribution to the cause, the best help for the homeless if he was one of them. And while they were waiting for this homeless assistance center to be built, he was going to all the city meetings. He kept up with the plans and the politics, and people were starting to have this conversation, and I think he contributed a lot to it.
On this day, February 17th, 18th, Sunday, we're overseeing the project and keeping things rolling.
Where are we at now?
We're at the new homeless shelter. In progress, being built. Scheduled to open up in 2008. It's been a long road trying to get this thing rolling. And we're gonna have a groundbreaking ceremony on the 27th of February. It's been postponed from the 15th of February to 27th of February. Finally, this project is in motion. And we're gonna document this thing from start to finish. Anything else?
Last time we had an interview with him, he was at the barbecue place on the Industrial Boulevard. And he said, take a picture, sir. And he was interviewing, I was taking pictures from the other side. I was like, that was fun. That was fun.
Right here. Watch your feet, watch your feet, watch your feet, watch your feet.
New York, his name was Mitch, but he went by New York because that's where he came from. I liked how he kept all of his photographs together in an album, and he went through his whole past with me.
I told you. Can't.
I like the way that New York and Sarge acted around each other.
That's why I came look for you.
Don't interrupt the footage, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
You know? What does he want, man? He said he's going. I think so. Wait on. Now, I believe in magic. Okay. The Earth orbits the sun at 66,700 miles per hour. Isn't that unbelievable? And it takes, of course, 365 days, 5 hours and 48 minutes and 46 seconds, but probably that's where the leap year comes in at. And it's balanced that off every 4 years or whatever. But can you believe that God has us traveling at 66,700 miles per hour? Man, that's amazing. That amazes me. So, you know, because of gravity, we don't blow off. But you would wonder why we don't have more wind than we have. You know what I mean? Regardless of gravity. Again, gravity. But anyway, can you believe that?
So you were beginning to tell me about magic. I believe in magic too.
And I was telling you about God's magic, and then I was telling you about, okay, Tony, there's evil magic, and I think there's good magic. I mean, you wouldn't believe the things that just pop. How automatic my life is getting these days. And my belief is that this is all being controlled by upstairs. Because I can just go and move around, and it's like things are there waiting for me. You know, it's like I'm getting served. And the more I live my life the way I'm living my life, the more I'm getting served. You know, or the more people I help, the more I'm getting served. The more I send it, the more it comes. And I believe that God is setting me up for something. But I can't get knocked off because the enemy is, the devil wants me bad, okay? There's no doubt in my mind. And you know, the devil is tricky. The devil will come at you with all kind of disguises. And the devil can control so many people. And well, the devil is controlling so many people. The devil has so many people working for him. The devil, his army is getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Here's the army, the devil's army. And the devil's goal is to do as much damage as he can get. Satan's goal is to do as much damage as he can do before he gets destroyed or before he gets finished. And he knows his whole game is gonna come to an end, okay? But he wants to do as much damage. He's going down, and he knows it. But he's trying to take as many people as he can, okay? Because he's trying to, what do you call it? I don't want to say the squirt God off. You know what I mean by? He's trying to piss him off, you know. And he's doing it. You know, he's an agitator. He's a pick. He's a prick. He has that pitchfork. It's always pricking somebody's life. For Satan 100% of the time, some of them are working for him 5% of the time. See? Some of them doing his bidding every now and then. Some of us are crossing that line not as often as others to work for him. You see what I'm saying? Straddling the fence. But it depends on, I guess, when you get on the bad side of that fence, how long you stay over there before you get back, before you then don't go over on that other side no more. You got to keep weeding that out. You know, how often you go over there. Make it less and less and less until you weed it out. You stop going over there altogether. You coming in?
I can remember becoming dependent on getting a phone call from one or the other of them because they were a guaranteed good time.
It was just this kind of common area where Hal would throw parties for exhibit openings or just other random kind of gatherings or concerts.
This unusual artistic dude shows up on a life mission to help people not be invisible. Everyone has an affinity for something beautiful. We assume that people who deal with poverty don't enjoy beauty. That's ridiculous. Hal and I go back over 10 years ago, and we were working in the same space. We were working with folks who were very low income. Most would call that poor. I don't like the word poor attached to a person, but people dealing with poverty, right?
Art and the arts are so important to a community. Art is political because artists have always used their media.
Stanley. Are you Chinese? No, I'm not. I'm a lot of things, but Chinese is not one of them.
My name's Stanley the artist.
Stanley the artist. I'm Dan the artist. Dan the artist.
I guess I feel high. I always question the validity of something, or the profundity of something, based on, did it change your actions? Did you act differently? I think the most important decision that we all make in life is it about me, or is it about someone else?
Society has a problem with me being the way I am, and society is the cause of me being the way I am. It wasn't me, and it's not my choice. I love to have a brick home, I love to have a family. But because the life is the way it is, I'm where I'm at. And until I get help, then I'll be here. But I need help. And that's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. I need help.
How do you feel? What does that mean?
Christmas Eve, there was a friend of mine named Michelle who I was working with a couple years prior who agreed to take this Santa's wish list that was a short list of some people I knew and what they would like to get for Christmas.
If you could do anything for Dallas, if you could do anything and give anything in the world, like you could write a check and buy anything for Dallas, what would it be for Christmas?
For Christmas, I would make sure that times like this, the people that's doing bad, unfortunate people, will have at least a place to go and stay, at least through the winter.
Sporty is like a guy that, like, if somebody picked up Sporty in a car, gave him a shower, cleaned him up, morning, and like an hour later, and you talked to Sporty, you would have no clue that Sporty was on the street or anything like that, because he was like just like a natural, I think I wrote about it, but he's just like a natural leader and super charismatic. Sporty is somebody you can like definitely see just like how quickly you can tumble.
You didn't hear what happened? Oh, he got shot. Oh, he died of alcoholism. Oh, he got run over by a car. Oh, he killed himself. Oh, he got stabbed 37 times. Oh, you know what I mean?
37 times?
37 times.
Who did it?
That was Ted Woodstock over there at 35 Northwest Highway when he killed James, December 23rd last year.
I read about that in the newspaper. They're supposed to be good friends or something.
You know what I mean?
It's all good, okay?
But I'm glad you're here today.
They'd appreciate that.
We appreciate you, man.
Yeah, well, I'm just being myself, man. I mean, I'm just Sporty. That's all I can be. You know, I'm a good guy. You know, I may not be doing so good right now as far as myself, but I'm a very good person.
We're gonna get out of here, man. You know?
Yeah, if you can.
No, seriously, we're gonna get out of here.
If you could get the gifts from my children, I'd appreciate that.
How about if we could get like a room somewhere for the night? Would y'all be interested in that?
Yeah.
Huh?
Tonight?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you trying to tell me something with your eyes? All I wanna do now is lay down.
I remember 14 degrees being the temperature that night. And so we decided to get a motel room. And I think there was 8 of us, and there was 4 rooms. I remember some Christmas cards being done. Maybe I was thinking about it more than they were, of what are we gonna do in 2 days. You try to enjoy it without the forethought of, okay, you know, what is it gonna be in 2 days?
Yeah, that'd be cool for a minute. You got 2 pairs?
Well, I got 2 on that one, 1 on this one.
Thanks for the glove.
Yeah. Coming to me crazy. I was a stupid cup. A cup that I didn't even see. That was Sunday. Yeah, 2 Sundays ago.
Yes, and cook my food for 6 months. That's all I want, just for 6 months. And I can handle the rest. I can get my check started, I'm disabled, and I'm mentally insane. and they keep bullshitting, I might commit suicide. I might hang my damn self. But the Lord won't forgive you for that, so I'm gonna get them thoughts out of my head. I said, Lord of mercy.
God don't forgive suicide.
Yes. So I'm gonna get those thoughts out of my head. But I want to pay my rent for 6 months. I have my own apartment, I buy my own furniture. Just give me the apartment, and I can handle the rest.
I met Hal when we were in downtown Dallas, located at 420 South Irvay in Dallas, Texas. And he was just always there. And I think that we must have met after his friend Bill was killed. And when I first came to Dallas, I would see people on the streets holding up signs saying homeless will work for food. But little did I know, you know, that actually they couldn't get a job. Actually, they were damaged, they were devastated. And so a lot of people end up on the streets, as I came to know more and more, that they were people just like me, that had the same dreams and hopes and ambitions that I had. But somewhere there was a turn, and they ended up where they were. And it was almost impossible to come out of that lifestyle if you don't have somebody that reaches down and picks up and helps.
It's amazing how well people do on their own once they get off the street. There aren't that many homeless people in Dallas, relatively. It's all a matter of providing the housing units. We found that people, once they get in housing, do right well. You can't rebuild a life off of a corner. Nearly 90% of the people who are on the street today would stabilize almost completely on their own if they had a place to live. This is not charity. This is gratitude.
How are your hands, Robert? You okay?
What did he do with his hand? What
He
happened?
gave me his gloves. That was tight. Hallelujah.
These people are worth saving. They're just like you, just like me. And let's pull them up. Let's get them. Let's get them.
And whatever I can do to help you, you know what I'm saying, for the cause, this is going to be done.
Oh, this spot feels so good.
Okay. So what do you want this Christmas?
Live another day. That's it. I mean, Christmas.
You need that bag, baby.
Christmas is just another day.
You need that bag.
That's it. I want to break this. You know, my birthday's on the 31st of December.
Yeah.
My birthday's on the 31st of December.
Wow.
Don't matter. It's just another day.
Towards the end of all the photographs that were taken, we were like, what can we do with these? And Central Dallas Ministries put together this book. And it was a proposal, a performa, to raise seed capital to transform an old hotel into an SRO. And the SRO would be a single residency occupancy for the homeless. And the idea was to have those that were in the photographs, those that were still living, because Bill was in there and a couple others that had passed, have a chance to live in this place, to have the full continuum of care all provided for them. Because of one thing or another, it wasn't available to them to have a place in there. And that made it hard going back out on the street after campaigning for that, and then they have to tell them that they're not going to be able to get a place anymore.
The hero, the most amazing of responsibilities.
You sound great, man.
Oh, hey, thank you.
No,
Man,
no.
thank you, buddy, because I was thinking about killing myself and I'm going through something, but I ain't did. I went to like I normally would. So I just need people to know, going by the Bible, America wins. Say, if it's a 666, check it out, Revelation. It's a 777. 7 a number. God, my birthday, you know, don't tell nobody. July 14, 1963. Only number divisible by the date, the month, and the year is 777. Check, mate. We win. God don't lose. Love you now.
It took him a while to not put himself out as much. He was really like leaving himself pretty vulnerable. He had to crash at some point, and you know, it wasn't a huge thing, but it was just definitely, there was a point where just like he had to pivot away from some of the stuff he'd been doing just because he had, he'd been taken advantage of too many times.
To my infinite number of protests, during which I tried to tell how we don't do homelessness. Still, even today, last year we served, engaged, partnered with well over 55,000 different people, and way less than 1% were homeless. But Hal was insistent that we were going to do homelessness. We were going to tackle homelessness, and we were going to work with people who didn't have homes. So, as Hal is, typically what Hal says has a way of coming to pass. So every Thursday for the last 18 months, I've been sitting on the corner of Dawson and Malcolm X, handing out bottled water to homeless friends and just shooting the breeze.
45's magic. I'm taking off to Mars in my vinyl car. Well, I think that we're all this close to being a mess all the time, aren't we? I mean, really, that's part of being alive. It's terrifying because on the happiest day of your life, you're this close.
People really don't want to talk about it because, well, how do you talk about it?
There's some adults that you meet and you're like, you weren't really a child, I don't believe it. Once they were this beautiful, happy, innocent thing. Like for me, the most fascinating thing about human beings. And sad too, sometimes. I'm gonna hit the heights and maybe nick some stars and you won't have a clue what I've been.
Happy birthday, Hal. Congratulations on your birthday. I remember you from 5 or 6 years ago.
I don't care what anybody says about you, I like you.
Hi, Hal. I love you a lot.
I couldn't remember if it was here or somewhere else, but
I'll blow this one out for you.
Happy birthday, Hal. You don't even know I'm here yet, but
happy birthday.
Happy birthday and God bless you.
Tell him your name.
Bob Crawford.
Where were you born?
Nashua, New Hampshire.
What year?
1952.
And we're on our way to where?
Frisco.
Frisco.
Frisco, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're flexing to Frisco.
Flexing to Frisco.
That's right.
Hooray.
And it'll show on the screen right here. And I trust you'll be able to see what it looks like.
Yeah, I see you now driving. I don't press nothing, right?
No, you have control of how it's framed, and how it looks.
Okay.
Like you can see everything right here? You like it?
Yeah.
Can you see the bridge going by?
Yeah.
You're doing good.
A lot of my friends ended up picking up Bob as he was asking for rides in East Dallas. A couple times I'd go out to North Dallas and throw him in the car with me just to have somebody to talk to. He was always wanting to know if I'd seen his movie.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I was always interested in seeing if I could get him to help me make mine. He always knew when there was going to be a show. How he knew, he just did. He was the first one there.
I'm Mark Trainer, that's Mark, M-A-R-C, entertainment attorney. Ever since I've been coming down to Deep Ellum, Hal's been, a fixture down here.
That's the side of a true artist, when you like want to positively impact your community and you have to compulsively create work. Like there's no choice, like there's not an option.
I just sort of pick it up and I do what I want to do and it's done. And then I have very little revision in my songs.
It was so exciting because it was just a space. And he named it that because he didn't want anything attributed to it. He just wanted it to be not just Hal's space, but our spaces.
Well, I feel like it is me. So I don't know how I'd be anything else.
It was really an experiment. He's not one to ask you, what do you do? Hal wants to know, what are you passionate about? So I think space was his experiment to see what that collective can go ahead and accomplish.
I was invited to his gallery area in Deep Ellum. Kind of 2-floor establishment on Main Street in Deep Ellum.
And it was a different style of venue than any other club.
First floor, kind of a shotgun style, small, white-walled gallery.
Then here's something going on upstairs. Let's go check that out. Playing music in Dallas for years, there was never anything like this.
But it was just a rotating cast of characters who just kind of got sucked into Hal's orbit. Interesting way that we came up with the name Space. We made something pretty special, I think. It was impossible to know what you were going to walk into.
We met when we were 5 at Sunday school.
It's true.
We'll just leave it at that. We're not Robert Jones anymore.
Yeah, it was summer of 2009, right?
Yeah, we just graduated, right?
Yep. Space was a big magical place.
Yeah.
And it was just a gigantic room with brick walls and wood floors.
Felt like we were getting to play there every week almost or something like that. It felt like it. And it was just awesome. And took it for granted, big time. Especially towards the end. It's like, another show. Do we have to do this? Yeah. That was me. Robert's like, yeah, come on, man. What do you mean? You don't want to? All of a sudden, we're on the top of a building in downtown Dallas, and it's cold, and we're playing, and what the heck? But yeah, the stuff all of a sudden seems like a bunch of impossible stuff can suddenly happen.
Yeah.
Because Hal can juke and dive, and he knows, I don't know, he makes a lot of impossible things happen, or things that don't seem realistic or that they can't happen, all of a sudden happen.
It was exciting in Space in the beginning because the Dallas Observer came over. They hosted these Wednesday night DC 9s in Space. Multiple bands came through. We had Celine Narala and New Science Projects, and a couple of dozen others. And everybody got to celebrate incubating each other as artists. And as a result, when we were done after a year or two, we had a whole slew of super friends.
Mike Rollins probably did more in a short period of time for homeless people than anybody in the history of the city in the public sector. You know, kind of in that context that Hal was doing his thing.
I think Dallas is a very young city still. I mean, we're just over 150 years old, and we're really starting to come into our own. I mean, we have learned how to make money, okay? The city does a pretty good job about that. And now it's starting to learn how to deal with the more complex issues and to have individuals put art and homelessness together. That's pretty heady stuff. And to do that in a way says something about the talent and the milieu of this place I call my home. For as many homeless as there are that many stories. And they're very interesting stories. They're dynamic. Many of them are tragic stories. Some of them are very redemptive stories, but they're all individual stories. And so often in my world, with business or like, we all want to kind of be the same, and suddenly there's a group of individuals that are so different from us, but yet in many ways they're the same. Understanding that nuance was really revealing not only about the homeless population, but how I was as a leader, because I was trying to do substantive, systemic, catalytic changes in the city, but they were very personal. You weren't successful unless you understood the personal issues of everybody. We were trying to put together a new way to help our homeless out, help our city out at the same time, and to be able to do that right, I think you have to get a wide range of individuals that bring a lot of different things to bear. And our committee, I think, created a great strategy. Hal played an important part of it because he had a heart for these individuals. He spoke in a straight manner, but he was balanced. He saw the need for a systemic change at the same time. He dealt with really personal issues as well, very poignant. We created policies, and I'm very proud of that. We passed bond elections, we built things, we hired people, but underneath this was a human element that taught me a lot about myself.
Space was such a great launching pad for so many people. Like in Dallas, from other places, I think just everybody's kind of gone off on their own paths and accomplished so much, and I think being a part of that community was a huge part of starting so many people that have done great things.
You know, that's the other thing about Space was, I remember, you know, the Dallas Observer would be having, you know, shows there, and people were having some really amazing gallery shows there, and I was having the kind of affirming experience of having my first show there, and getting to start to piece together what kind of stories did I want to tell, and being able to share that. Space was a place that a lot of people could do it, but you know, on the flip side of that, somebody's got to keep the lights on. Somebody's got to open the doors for people, and you could show up on Friday night and be like, wow, man, isn't community awesome? Isn't art beautiful? And you leave and somebody, you know, Hal had to do what was necessary to make sure that it was open on Saturday night.
One way or another, I mean, we all have our own little, what would you call it, vices. You know, cocaine, alcohol, some people pharmaceutical drugs, you know, and then some people really are, I mean, they can't comprehend or maintain from day to day to be able to hold a job, you know, which is sad, really. For a lot of these folks, this is all they'll ever be for them unless the city does something for them. The city really doesn't seem to want to do much.
It just sounds like just nonsense, really. That's what it is. It's nonsense.
They kicked everybody out from under I-45 without, like, no plan as to where they were going to go. I mean, we're talking like hundreds of people set up like basically their own society.
They come in here, and they are coming here to remove the homeless under this bridge Thursday, 27th. You got people with mental problems. You got people with health problems. Where else are we supposed to go? I don't understand.
We all have our ideas of how this person got there, or why they're choosing to be out there. And what I have found out the common denominator is broken relationships.
you'd find yourself, in this what's next place. We just embellish somebody's reality a little bit, or a lot. And now, you tuck them back in. And so there was this essence to it that had a sweet and sour to it, I guess. But we just never talked about that.
Each interaction with one of those folks left me with questions and answers about life as I walked away. And a lot of what we would talk about was the same. And people that were classified as homeless or with mental health problems, or who were ultimately just broken in some form or fashion. Like, I think he was showing that there was something beautiful within that brokenness, and that there was a humanity there that a lot of people didn't stop to see. And if they did stop to see it, it wouldn't just compel them to, oh, I want to be kind to that person, but it would enrich them because all of a sudden they're seeing themselves in someone else. This long conversation that's happening on a communal level with people that have never really met each other. And really, like, if I really think about it, I mean, I think most of us through our art are trying to reconcile some part of who we are, some part of our past, some part of our pain. A lot of times our art is how we do that.
I heard Scrap Iron before I met him. He was somebody that was either on the corner of Crowdis in Maine, or he was over on Elm in Malcolm.
No, I got it on side. Oh, okay. I'm serious, it's hard. I have to lift it up to get stuff.
Scrap Iron was a guy that messed around on the streets of Dallas and played harmonica, and he played it like, I don't want to say Liberace because nobody listens to Liberace anymore, but he meant business, and he knew his business well.
The Lord take me down to...
Like, interviewing the guy, and the guy's talking about, he's asking him,
You could do anything in the world right now, what would it be?
Give me about 2-3 microphones set in different tones, and give me a big crowd. That's it.
There was this Black Angel show, and Hal was like, hey, I'll put your name on the list, and I hadn't even heard the Black Angels.
I think it's amazing that somebody would be passionate enough about our music to want to document that and share it with us. I mean, it's humbling to me, knowing that somebody cares that much about what you're doing in your life. It's an honor, it really is. I think, again, it's like, Hal has no boundaries. Hal's, I think he sees everybody as equals, and that's how it should be. Everyone's equal, and everybody's life's as important as the next person, and he sees that. The person on the street, or you, or a politician, or Gandhi, or whoever it is.
I get there, and it's a good show, and I run into a couple friends, and I see Hal. He's got this like velvet purple hat, and he's running towards the stage with a camera, like a madman. And he gets up there, and all of a sudden the screen goes black, and a curtain lifts up, and there's Scrap Iron. And it was just this moment of bumps on your arm, chills, because you're seeing one of those things that you hear about like happen.
He's there in his pinstripes and looking good and sounding good and feeling good, and everybody that was there had a good time with him.
I've been bad, I've been good, Dallas, Texas.
I enjoyed myself, and the crowd exhilarated and electrified me so much. I would love to play with them anytime. It was so wonderful. It's something you can't explain in words. It's just like, oh man. I did ask me to play 5 more tunes, but I breathed and I would have. I'm serious. That is some crowd. Whoa.
Great it felt just to be around him afterwards, and I was like, when's the next show going to be? How can we make this happen again?
money. Use it just as bad. All the story money. Use this or just as bad. So sad. Whoa. Wednesday is blue, and Thursday's oh so sad. And the eagle flies on Friday.
Scrap iron, Christmas Eve. We'd already been to the hospital earlier, went back, and he wasn't doing too well at all, and it was when Keith started playing the harmonica that scrap iron started to move and come around more and reach out. And that was the last time we'd seen him. But he still have all this tape of him talking about where the spirit comes from, how he gave credit to things not being of his own, and how he would give himself all to being that conduit was one of my favorite things about this journey.
I got something to give that's worth more than money, and I want to give it away. People want it. I want to give it to them. It's the biggest smile I could ever get. I'm serious. It's the biggest smile I could ever get. And I love it. I made the song called Happy Hour. Let me see if I can give you part. I know one thing. I got something to give this world, and it's about good stuff, not shake your booty. It's about something they can use, you know? Something they can use. We're all important. Every human being on this earth is important about something. And I love that. It makes the spice come together in one big pot, you know, and make something happen. And the first time I played Amazing Grace in church, let me tell you something. That was my first time using the Amazing Grace that I had put together, me and the Lord or whatever. And I closed my eyes because it was my first time playing it in public. When I opened my eyes, every roach, mosquito, and everything, every child, every woman and man was up on their feet dancing. I'm like, whoa! You know, like, God almighty, what did happen? What happened here? And I presented it like I should have. I said, this is called Amazing Grace done right. Well, we had a ball. Oh, we had a ball. I cried, man. I cried for about 3 or 4 hours. I couldn't control myself. That was joy tears, though. Joy tears is something, ooh, man, you can't explain to nobody. Hey, man, what are you crying about? I'm not crying, I'm happy, you know what I mean? And I haven't cried in years, you know, I'm like, God almighty, what's going on here? I've been up, I've been down, take my word, been around, ain't asking for much. I bid the Lord take me down to, I'm dead looking for some tools. I've been bad, I've been good, Dallas, Texas. Trust me, this spirit here will be going for a while. This spirit it's not about flesh anymore, it's about the spirit of this job, wherever it takes me. Looking for some tools. If something happens there that goes, and it sparks the fire and that motor gets to turning and woo, boy, I can't explain it. You can't get it out of a bottle. Yeah, ain't asking for much. My name is Scrap Iron. This is my wife, Henrietta Marie.
Of course, I got to meet Hal at the gallery and learn his story, and that made it even more interesting for me.
You know, you meet Hal and you're like, okay, is he a genius?
Every single person that I know in Dallas has encountered or interacted with space, pretty much.
Is he a con artist? What's going on here?
I met Hal.
There's the Arcadia Theater. First time I meet him, it's like I'm meeting a brother.
He just sees things.
Through a friend, a mutual friend of ours.
We met a couple times.
I don't know that I have a particular memory of when I first met Hal.
I'd heard about him.
So I think I just started running into Hal more around the neighborhood.
I mean, I think he could probably get anybody to do anything.
I'm not sure that many people necessarily do.
Basically, so you could see how he could definitely
feel better about yourself.
Hal's name once, she's like, you have to meet him, he's so creative. And
when we really started getting close was when Space started.
And Space was a perfect time, a perfect place with the perfect people.
I don't think we ever really had much of a plan.
It was interactive.
We just went in and tried to see what we could do with it.
For lack of a better word,
it was a little bit of everything.
This place has such good energy.
That sounds a little bit much when I say it, but that's kind of how it felt in that moment. And so, you know, maybe other people don't look at it like that, but I know that for me, like, it's no mistake. If I find myself in a room with a camera pointed at someone, something led me there.
Performances that we had at Space just kind of ended up including the population who lived on the streets around the gallery.
That's the thing with Hal. I mean, he doesn't really hide from anything, so.
I can't even put it into words, like Hal did so much for me.
Hal was in a different universe. There was just too much to like think that, okay, this isn't just a persona or something. Does he know other people that from other space-time continuum?
And Hal became their conduit. And I think sometimes that was an unbelievable thing. And sometimes it was just like, Hal, what the hell are you doing?
But it wasn't the building, wasn't anything to do with the structure. It was Hal. And him using that building as an amplifier.
I spent some time buying and collecting cardboard homeless signs and began to really engage in conversations with the homeless.
My name's Hal Samples and you're in the Hal Samples Gallery. Tonight we have a show called Home. Not home, but home. There's a difference. After 14 years of collecting homeless signs, some 90-something of them from people that are on the corners. We've had a lot of success in the gallery doing other kinds of art, and this is the first time that we're bringing home back to home.
Well, I think it's pretty appropriate that Hal is closing this kind of chapter of his life with this exhibit, which sort of gets him back to kind of where I met him when he was taking pictures of homeless guys and trying to help out. And it's pretty cool to see him helping somebody who's also helping other people.
And this is also the last show for the Hal Samples Gallery, and we've enjoyed all the successes and our artist friends that have been able to be a part of it. This is good news. The gallery is closing, and what that's going to enable us to do is make more art, be more viable, and have more value for the purpose that we set off to do, which was to give a consciousness to the social issues using music and art. So by removing my energy from the space, it allows me to get outside of space and do photography and video and film and work with those people that are important to me to work with. And so this is good news.
Really weird. I don't know what I'm doing, but it works.
What do I do to keep the sunshine? What you gonna do for me? you gonna sing to me to keep me moving, honey, to keep the sunshine up? Well, I will help you. Yeah, I will save you. I'll be there when you need me, darling, and I will die.